Krishna says, if you can't do this, then do this. If you can't do that, then do this. If you can't do that, then do this. If it's too hard to do that, do this. At the end, Krishna says, if you can't do anything of that, it boils down to do this. Develop a desire to attain me. That's what it boils down to. Developing that desire. That desire is sparked when we come in contact with the Guru. And then, spiritually high-minded, inspirational. And then a small seed of a desire is awakened. We bump into sadhus, other spiritually high-minded people. And we think, these are such wonderful persons. More association is attained. Spark that desire. Shastra, we read a book, we get some information about spirituality, and we are inquisitive, a desire is sparked. When that desire is sparked, I'm going to bounce around to another part of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, Yayatamam prapadyante. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. This word reward, sometimes it scares people off. Krishna's not saying that if you wash my shoes, I will give you a chocolate bar. It's not that kind of reward. I was actually just finished today's Gurukul class today. It was hilarious. I got 10 kids here. And we had this quiz, and we were going through the 10 incarnations of Vishnu, right? The Dasavatar. We had this quiz, and they wanted to, if we win the quiz, and what do we get, right? They wanted a reward. So I said, if you get the quiz, and we have rasgullas on Sunday or something like that, right? A little reward kind of thing. Krishna is not talking about that. That if you surrender unto me, then I'll give you your rasgullas on Sunday. When Krishna is talking about as we surrender unto Krishna, that means as we go more into the spiritual dimension, the natural consequence, not so much a reward, the consequence is freedom. As much as we surrender unto Krishna, as much as we move into a loving relationship with Krishna, who exists in the spiritual realm, the more we come closer to Krishna, or God, or however you define as supreme, is irrelevant, the more we come closer to Krishna, the more we gain freedom. Freedom from the influences of material nature. But we have to get that desire going. Because the desire is everything, right? If we're sitting in the chariot and we're completely confused, the intelligence is not going to have control of the mind. The mind is not going to have control of the senses, and the senses are going to drive the chariot off a cliff. The spirit soul must have a desire. Going back to the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says if you can't do anything, start at developing a desire. That desire comes from association, connection. Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, and getting mercy, grace. And it starts to move our desire. The more we desire, the more our ahankar begins to dissipate, becomes purified, and we can actually sit back and see that, my God, I have no control over everything. And again, this is not hocus pocus. Several years ago, and I will end on this story. Several years ago, I was in a situation where a legal issue, right? I was being sued. And it was a very, very, I've never been in that situation before, extremely, extremely stressful. Going to court, I didn't have the money, God bless America, for lawyers' fees, right? Extremely stressful situation. My God, I'd never been so stressed in my life. And I was trying to deal with it. I was sitting in the back of the courtroom waiting for my docket to come up, and I was chanting Krishna what to do. And this realization came. It's already happened. What's going to happen, it's out of your control. Whether the judge rules in your favor or against you, it's not only is it out of your control in so many different ways, it's already happened. It's already said and done. When that realization hit, obviously a realization from the Bhagavad Gita, if we listen to the Bhagavad Gita, read the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's been saying this throughout the Bhagavad Gita, you're not in control, you bloody idiot. Get with the program. It's going to happen. It has happened. It will happen. And there's nothing you can do to change it. Oh my God, is it frightening. Oh my God, is it frightening? That initial realization. But then it is also liberating. Once I sat and realized that, really internalized that this can go one of two ways, or a number of ways. The worst of the worst of the worst that can happen is this, and the worst that can be that. Once I accepted it, that it was beyond my control, I will tell you, and I kid you not, stress, fear, anxiety dissipated, disappeared. It doesn't mean I did not give up the fight. I did as best as I could, but I was no longer operating from debilitating fear. And it's very interesting because the last part of that verse is Krishna says, Sarva dharmam parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha ishami ma sucha. Ma sucha, don't fear. Once we have given up this ahankar of I'm in control, I'm telling you from personal experience, fear dissipates. It does not mean that you're not trying to influence the outcome. Very much the contrary. When my fear had dissipated in the courtroom at that particular morning, not being paralyzed by fear, all types of opportunities, possibilities, even if the judgment went against me, all types of possibilities and opportunities began to arise. I could do this, I could do that, I could do this. It may not be such a terrible thing if the judgment went against me. An entire realm of possibility opened up when I was not consumed by trying to be in control and thus being paralyzed by fear. But this is something that is not, Mahavishnu, telling this story, I'm not trying to say, it happens overnight. That's one very bad thing about modern society and modernity. A few years ago, I was trying to develop courses for people who were new to spirituality, and I was trying to develop them so it's something they could do, 5 minutes a day, right? 5 minutes a day, self-realization 5 minutes a day. Change your life 30 seconds a day. Change your life. I've gotten away from that. It's not going to happen. There is no 30-second solution to realizing you're not in control. And yet still being engaged in life. Still being, this is very interesting. The movie Matrix, I forget which one, I don't know if it's 1, 2, or 3, I forget which one it is. But the character, I forget what his name is. The character, Keanu Reeves, the hero in the movie. He goes to the guru, I guess you would call the guru in the movie. I forget what she's called, the something. Anyways, she's the guru. He goes to her for advice, and she's preaching to him, talking to him, and he's wrestling with, he's wrestling with a choice because his girlfriend is going to die. He sees a vision of his girlfriend dying. And his guru, she says, you're going to have to choose whether to save her or save somebody else. And the hero, Keanu Reeves, says, I don't want to make that choice. And the guru, she says, you know what, Neo, you've already made the choice. And Neo, that's what his name was. His name was Neo. He says, Neo, you've already made the choice. And Neo says, well, if I'm already made the choice, then what's the point? And the guru, she says, it's not about whether or not you made the choice. The question is you have to understand why you made the choice. The choice is already made. You have to when I saw, I was like, wow, this is, the directors must have gone to Bhagavatam class that morning. Right? That's straight out of the Bhagavad Gita. You've already made the choice. Right now, I'm wrestling with a choice, a career choice at the moment. And it's on the one hand, it's should I not? Should I not? On the other hand, it's liberating to know that I've actually made the choice. I've actually made the choice. The only thing there is for me to do now is to be detached, is to be the passenger and ride out the experience of the choices that I've already made. Letting go of that fear because I'm situated in para prakriti. I'm situated in the spiritual realm. So I can sit back on the chariot and watch what happens. completely devoid of fear because I have a loving relationship with Krishna, which in turn gives me, situates me in the spiritual realm. So I have the freedom to choose my response. I have the freedom to choose how what happens to me affects me. How I experience whether or not the chariot flies off the cliff. I can choose how I experience sitting in the courtroom watching my life go up in smoke. Because I am not, my consciousness is not in prakriti, is not in the material realm. I've recognized that what's going to happen in the material realm is going to happen. Where I have freedom is in the spiritual realm. I'm a spiritual being. Where I have freedom is in how I am situated in the spiritual realm. How all these things that may happen around me, how I choose to let it affect me. So we'll end there. And tomorrow's verse is, I believe, text number 5 of the second chapter. So a quick summary. Again, this topic of not being in control, it's a very, very controversial topic. 99.9% of the people in the world, we do not like this idea that we're not in control. And I'm telling you, this is not Gita, this is not philosophy, this is science. Please, if I did the research myself, I could not find that link. But just to recap very quickly of the producer from the BBC who went to the university and they wired him up to the machines. They gave him choices, all kinds of choices, verbal choices and visual choices. He had to choose between different colors or what he wanted, what he saw on a screen. Every single time while he's sitting there trying to make a conscious choice, every single time, the researchers back in the back room of the laboratory are watching his brain waves. And they predicted with 100% accuracy what he was going to choose, the BBC producer, every single time. Before the producer consciously made the choice. It is astounding. This is not philosophy. This is science. We are just now able to measure these things. We're just now able to measure the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita. The BBC producer, he came out of the university, he had to sit down on the front steps because he was blown away. And the researcher had to come out and said, "Are you okay?" And the producer was like, "No, I'm not. I've just realized I am not choosing anything, not consciously, and I have no idea why I'm making these choices. You've just showed me that you put a pizza and a lasagna in front of me, and I'm sitting there thinking, do I want a pizza or a lasagna? But my brain, my subconscious, has already made the choice and has printed out the choice in the back room. And I'm sitting here twiddling my thumb, pizza or lasagna? And this was for every choice he was given. What colors do you like? What are you going to do today? Whenever there was a choice, as soon as a choice was presented to him, his neurotransmitters in his mind made the choice, and he's thinking, consciously he's still pondering his options, thinking he has free will. But the computer has already logged his choice. The computer has already read the choice that his mind has already made. His subconscious mind has already made the choice and is waiting for him to catch up. When we're making choices, when we think we're going to the supermarket and we're making choices between this cereal and that cereal, guess what? Your mind has already made the choice and is waiting for us to catch up and pull one particular one off the shelf. We're playing catch up at that point. This is not philosophy. This is science. What do we do at this point to change if we're completely under the control of material nature? The only thing we can do is not be involved or invested, connected, controlled, and conditioned by material nature. We have to come to recognize and move towards spiritual reality, because that's where our freedom is. I'll end there.